Some secrets refuse to stay buried. In the windswept hills of Scotland, past and present collide, and the ties of family are tested like never before. Blood remembers what the heart tries to forget, and destiny waits for no one. This is a story of loyalty, betrayal, and courage that will shake the very roots of the past. Asterisk mist curls over the jagged cliffs as the early morning sun struggles to break through a blanket of gray clouds. The camera drifts over rugged landscapes where the echoes of history linger in the stones and the mist. In the distance, a lone castle sits perched on the edge of a cliff, its walls weathered but unbroken, a silent witness to centuries of secrets and battles. The sound of wind slicing through the hills fills the air, punctuated by the faint, distant toll of a bell. As if calling the past to attention, we see shadows, moving figures cloaked in careful slipping through ancient corridors. Their steps soft but determined. Papers and letters, stained and crumpled with age, lie scattered on wooden tables, hinting at mysteries that have waited too long to be revealed. A hand reaches out, brushing over a faded family crest, the emblem of a lineage both proud and dangerous. Music begins to swell gently in the backgrounds, soft strings carrying a sense of quiet tension, rising with each passing moment, tugging at the audience's anticipation as the camera shifts. Glimpses of life in the village below are revealed. Smoke curls from chimneys, children's laughter fades into the wind. And the markets bustle with a sense of ordinary life that contrasts sharply with the weight of history looming above. A shadowed figure pauses by the edge of a bridge, gazing into the churning river below, where the water reflects the stormy sky. This figure's eyes, though obscured, seem to carry the weight of decisions made long before, hinting at battles both internal and external that are yet to unfold. The voiceover begins softly, almost like a whisper against the roar of nature. Some bonds cannot be broken. Some truths will always find a way to the surface. In the land where every stone tells a story, the past is never truly gone. The screen flashes briefly to close-ups of hands gripping worn leather-bound books. The edges of maps marked with uncertain paths and swords glinting in dim light. Each image lingers just long enough to pull the viewer deeper into the tension, drawing attention to the threads that will weave together destiny, loyalty, and the inescapable pull of family ties. Dark clouds gather over the hills as the music rises, a low rolling crescendo that mirrors the tension in the air. The wind howls through abandoned corridors, and the camera pans to a storm-battered coastline where waves crash with unrelenting force. It is here, amid the chaos of nature and history, that the first whispers of conflict stir. The audience senses that something profound is about to unfold, a story not just of survival, but of choices that will echo across generations. Every shadow, every gust of wind, and every flicker of light seems charged with anticipation, setting the stage for a journey that will test courage, honor, and the bonds of blood itself. Asterisk, the mist thickens over the hills, hiding more than it reveals. Shadows move across crumbling walls, and every step echoes with unspoken danger. In the quiet of a dimly lit room, a hand traces the edge of an old leather-bound journal. The pages are fragile, each word a fragment of a secret that could alter everything. Outside, the wind carries whispers of past betrayals, rustling the leaves like a warning from history itself. The camera shifts to a distant battlefield, where the faint outline of soldiers can be seen through the fog, figures frozen between loyalty and duty. Their presence a reminder that the past is never truly gone. Cloaked figure moves swiftly through the corridors of the castle, eyes darting as if hunted by memories as sharp as swords. Their breath catches in the cold air as they pause by a window, staring out at the storm rolling over the cliffs. Lightning illuminates the jagged rocks below, revealing a sea that churns with relentless fury. Every ripple of the waves seems to echo the turmoil within families divided, promises broken, and a history that refuses to be silenced. Text flickers on screen. Every secret has its price. The words linger for a heartbeat before fading into the darkness, leaving the viewer with a sense of unease and anticipation. The narrative deepens as glimpses of other characters or revealed silhouettes huddled around flickering fires. Faces hidden but tension palpable. A letter passes from hand to hand, its contents unknown, yet heavy with implication. Music swells, a mix of low strings and distant drums, syncing with the pulse of danger. Each frame builds suspense. A dagger glints in the dim light. A horse's hooves thunder across muddy paths, and a figure vanishes into the fog as if swallowed by the night itself. The voiceover cuts through the rising tension. The choices of one can shadow the lives of many, and the sins of the past never truly die. Scenes flash rapidly. A close-up of a map marked with uncertain lines. Eyes filled with fear, yet burning with resolve. Hands trembling over a sword hilt. The tension escalates as alliances shift like the tides below the cliffs. There is no clear line between friend and foe. Every step could lead to salvation or ruin. Outside, the storm intensifies. Rain lashes against the castle walls, wind tears at banners. And the roar of thunder mirrors the internal battles each character faces. Here, the audience feels the weight of history pressing down, the unstoppable force of family duty, and revenge intertwining in ways that threaten to unravel everything in the final moments of this section. The music crescendos with a haunting melody, and the screen cuts to a shadowed figure standing alone at the edge of a cliff, looking out at the dark, raging sea. Text appears briefly. Blood will not stay buried. A single beat of silence follows, leaving viewers suspended in anticipation. The foundation of the story has been set, a world steeped in secrets, danger, and emotional turmoil, where every choice matters and the past is never truly past. The audience is left with an undeniable pull to follow the journey, to uncover the truth hidden within the fog, and to witness the unfolding of a story written in blood, loyalty, and courage. Asterisk thunder rolls across the sky as the camera sweeps over the rugged Scottish cliffs. Rain streaking the stones like tears. In the shadows of the castle, flickering candlelight dances across worn faces, faces hidden in darkness but etched with determination, fear, and longing. A hand hovers over a sword hilt, trembling slightly, while another fingers a tattered letter as though it holds the weight of the world. Every movement, every glance is charged with unspoken history, a reminder that these characters are bound not just by blood, but by the choices they are forced to make. The voiceover cuts in, low and steady. When the past calls, hearts must answer. When blood binds, courage is tested. The music swells with a haunting mix of strings and whispers, echoing through empty corridors as the camera follows silhouetted figures moving with urgency. In one frame, a cloaked figure pauses at a doorway, eyes fixed on a distant figure standing beneath a storm-lashed tree. Their gaze speaks volumes, laws, hope, defiance, all compressed into a moment suspended in time. Close-ups of hands brushing over family crests, fragile heirlooms, and maps suggest the stakes. Heritage, loyalty, and legacy are all on the line. Outside, the landscape mirrors the inner turmoil. Waves crash violently against the cliffs, their relentless rhythm echoing the tension between past and present. Lightning illuminates a hidden path, revealing fleeting glimpses of characters navigating narrow ledges and treacherous terrain. Every step is a test, every breath a reminder that one wrong move could undo generations of effort. A flicker of a dagger, a glint of armor, a shadow darting behind a tree. These brief flashes hint at conflicts, both physical and emotional. Text appears briefly on the screen. Every choice carries the weight of history. It lingers, then vanishes into the storm. As the section builds, the audience feels the intimacy of private struggles. A whispered conversation over a dying fire, a tear sliding down a cheek in the rain, a hand clutching another in silent solidarity. These moments are subtle yet powerful, grounding the larger chaotic events in human emotion. The music rises with an urgent tempo interspersed with the rhythmic sound of galloping hooves and the distant clash of steel. The storm becomes a metaphor for the internal battles each character faces: loyalty versus survival, love versus duty, hope versus despair. The final beat of this section focuses on a lone figure standing on a ridge, wind whipping around them, rain soaking their cloak. They lift their gaze to the horizon, where lightning strikes illuminate the path ahead. Text flashes briefly. In the face of destiny, courage is the only guide. Silence follows for a heartbeat, letting the weight of that moment settle in the audience's mind. Here, the emotional stakes are clear. History is unforgiving. Choices are irreversible. And the journey ahead will demand everything these characters hold dear. Asterisk. Lightning splits the sky as rain lashes against the jagged cliffs. Shadows dance across the castle walls, twisting and merging with the darkness. The wind screams like 1,000 voices, carrying with it the echoes of betrayal, loyalty, and choices that cannot be undone. Figures move swiftly through the storm cloaks flapping, swords glinting with every flash of lightning, faces hidden yet brimming with determination. The air is electric, heavy with tension, as if the very elements themselves are aware that destiny is at hand. The camera cuts between rapid, fragmented scenes, a hand gripping a sword so tightly that knuckles whiten, a dagger slipping from a gloved hand, footprints in mud washed away instantly by the rain. Each shot is brief, deliberate, a pulse racing alongside the audience's heartbeat. Text flickers on the screen. Some battles are written in blood, some in courage. A chorus of distant shouts, the clash of steel, and the pounding of hooves creates a chaotic symphony, blending natural fury with human conflict. Amid the chaos, personal moments shine through. A shadowed figure reaches out to save another from falling. A whispered vow cuts through the roar of the storm, and a tear mixes with rain on a determined face. These glimpses humanize the action, reminding viewers that behind every clash and every chase lies a story of loyalty, sacrifice, and love. The voiceover cuts in, low and resonant. When the past rises, only courage can carve the path forward, and blood will not stay buried. Each word hits like thunder, echoing through empty halls and storm-battered cliffs. The pace quickens. The audience sees flashes of the past brief, ghostly images overlaid on the present, ancestral eyes staring from old portraits, hands that once held swords now gripping the next generation's fate, and whispers of voices long gone. A bridge collapses into the churning river below. Horses charge across muddy fields and cloaked figures vanish into the mist. Music swells to a crescendo, mixing haunting strings with the roar of nature, each beat punctuating a rising sense of urgency. In the final moments, the storm reaches its peak. A lone figure stands at the edge of a cliff, rain pouring down, hair plastered to their face, eyes blazing with resolve. Lightning illuminates the horizon, revealing the path ahead, a path dangerous, uncertain, yet impossible to ignore. Text appears boldly. Outlander, blood of my blood, just below. The release info flashes briefly, coming soon exclusively on STARZ. The screen cuts to black for a heartbeat, leaving viewers suspended between anticipation and awe, their hearts pounding for the story that is about to unfold. Asterisk, the storm begins to subside, leaving a heavy silence that feels almost alive. Mist clings to the cliffs, curling around jagged rocks like spectral fingers, and the echoes of the previous chaos linger in the air. Shadows stretch long and thin across abandoned corridors, hinting at secrets that refuse to rest. The camera drifts slowly through these spaces, lingering on details. A sword embedded in a wooden beam, letters scattered as if thrown in desperation, a family crest carved into stone worn smooth by time. Each shot whispers a story of loyalty, sacrifice, and choices that have shaped the past and will define the future. A lone figure emerges from the fog, their cloak wet and heavy, steps deliberate on the rain-slicked stones. They pause at a window, gazing out at the horizon, where the first faint rays of sunlight fight through storm clouds. In the distance, the silhouettes of companions and adversaries alike move. Their intentions unclear, but every gesture charged with purpose. Text fades in on screen. Every choice echoes through generations. The music softens, yet maintains an undercurrent of tension, blending haunting strings with low percussion to mirror the uncertainty and anticipation that grips the characters. The voiceover begins. Calm but piercing. Blood remembers what the heart tries to forget. Destiny waits for no one. And the past will not be denied. Scenes flash in brief, cinematic bursts, a hand gripping another in silent solidarity. A dagger raised in defiance, eyes glistening with resolve and fear. Every fragment reinforces the stakes, heritage, family, and the choices that bind them all. The audience feels the weight of each decision, knowing that loyalty, betrayal, and love are all intertwined in a tapestry that refuses to unravel easily. As the section builds, glimpses of the supernatural or unexplained begin to appear, faint shadows moving against the wind. A fleeting ghostly figure, the flicker of candlelight that seems to react to unseen forces. It is subtle, almost imperceptible, but enough to hint that forces beyond human control are at play. Music rises in intensity, yet remains ethereal, balancing the emotional and narrative tension perfectly. Lightning flashes one final time across the cliffs, illuminating the horizon and revealing the storm's aftermath, a world reshaped, yet brimming with possibility. In the closing beats of this section, the camera focuses on a central figure standing tall, soaked to the bone, eyes blazing with determination. A slow zoom emphasizes their resolve, their presence, a symbol of courage, legacy, and the unbreakable ties of blood. Text appears briefly. Outlander, blood of my blood. The voiceover finishes with a whispered, chilling echo. The story is far from over. The screen fades to black, leaving the audience suspended in anticipation, hearts pounding, desperate to uncover the secrets, battles, and choices that await. Asterisk, the sky is now tinged with the first pale light of dawn, but the air still hums with the echoes of the storm. Mist clings to the cliffs and valleys like a shroud, concealing secrets that refuse to be revealed. The camera glides over jagged stones and rushing rivers, catching glimpses of worn swords, torn banners, and scattered letters. Silent witnesses to battles fought and promises broken. The world feels both fragile and dangerous, a place where every step could change fate. A cloaked figure stands alone on the cliff's edge, rain-soaked hair plastered to their face, eyes scanning the horizon as if searching for what history has hidden. Their hand hovers over a sword hilt, trembling with anticipation, yet their posture exudes quiet strength. Text appears on the screen in bold, elegant letters. The past will not stay buried. Thunder rumbles softly, almost as a heartbeat, signaling that the moment of truth is near. The voiceover begins, slow and resonant. Every secret, every betrayal, every choice, they all lead here, to the blood that binds us. Rapid flashes of dramatic scenes follow, horses galloping through misted valleys, figures vanishing into forests, hands gripping swords with deadly intent, eyes meeting in silent challenge. Each frame is fleeting, yet packed with tension, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats. The music swells with a haunting, unforgettable melody, strings, percussion, and ethereal vocals blending to mirror both the chaos and the emotional weight of destiny. A final sequence brings everything together. Lightning illuminates the stormy horizon, revealing a vast landscape scarred by conflict, yet alive with promise. Silhouettes of characters stand tall against the light, their faces hidden but their determination clear. Text flashes one last time. Outlander, blood of my blood. The voiceover whispers, almost conspiratorial, coming soon, only on STARZ. The screen fades to black, leaving an echo of wind, rain, and a single resonant heartbeat. It's a pause that stretches just long enough to let the tension sink in, leaving viewers desperate for the story to unfold in these final moments. The trailer achieves its purpose, Mystery, suspense, and emotion collide in a cinematic crescendo, creating a lasting impression that lingers in the mind. Every choice, every sacrifice, every thread of blood ties is hinted at but never fully revealed, pulling the audience into a world where destiny waits for no one and courage is the only guide. Asterisk, dark clouds linger over the Scottish Highlands, the aftermath of a storm painting the landscape in shadows and muted gold. The wind moves through empty castles and misted valleys, carrying whispers of past betrayals and promises that have yet to be fulfilled. The camera glides over cliff edges, reflecting jagged rocks and churning waters below, where every ripple seems alive with memory. The silence is heavy, broken only by distant echoes of hooves and the soft creak of a swinging gate. As though the land itself is holding its breath, a lone figure steps forward, silhouette framed against the dawnlit sky. Their cloak flaps wildly in the wind, soaked and torn, yet their posture is unshakable, eyes fixed on the horizon where the storm gives way to light. They clutch a sword, the metal catching the first rays of sun, symbolic of battles fought, choices made, and courage that refuses to waver. Text flashes briefly on screen. The blood of the past flows into the fate of the future. Every detail red-drenched stone, trembling hands, glinting steel reminds viewers of the stakes. Heritage, loyalty, love, and vengeance intertwined. The voiceover pierces the tension. Low and commanding, every secret will surface, every bond will be tested, and the story is far from over. Quick, cinematic flashes follow, shadowed figures racing through misty forests, horses thundering across muddy plains, swords colliding in sparks, and hands reaching for one another amidst chaos. Each beat is deliberate, creating a rhythm that mirrors the pounding heart of the audience, building both suspense and excitement. Music crescendos a blend of haunting strings, distant drums, and ethereal vocals lifting tension to its peak. The final moments slow, lingering on a cliffside scene where the central characters stand apart yet connected by invisible threads of blood and destiny. Lightning flickers behind them, illuminating the storms, scars, and the world waiting beyond. Text appears one last time in bold cinematic font. Outlander, blood of my blood. The voiceover concludes softly, leaving an echo. Coming soon. Only on STARZ. The screen fades to black, the silence stretching just long enough to let the suspense and emotion settle, leaving the audience electrified, anxious, and ready to watch.